Hey, welcome back everyone. It is time for another red hot covered call video. Well, hey, look, today we're going to talk about my August 2023 numbers. I'm going to keep it quick because I'm going to show you a trade for which I am absolutely picking $1,000 bills off the money tree. And I'll tell you what, that's what we're looking to do when we're trading the poor man's covered call. We want to pick little premiums over and over again while we use the Leaps call option to generate near-term covered call cash flow. We are absolutely kicking ass this year, and I'm going to show you how August broke all records for me. You know, I've been doing this since 2016, and August 2023 blew away every expectation I've ever had. So look, stick around. I know you're going to like this one.
I'm somewhere on a beach, sipping something strong, got a new girl.
Hey, welcome back everyone. It is time for another red hot covered call video. Well, hey, look, today we are going to talk about my August 2023 results. And I'll tell you what, we broke another record. In fact, we absolutely destroyed it. I don't think I've ever made more than $7,000 in the month of August. This month, we destroyed it, knocking down over $23,500 or 5.23% cash on cash with money invested. And you can see it right there. We're using about $450,000 to generate $23,553. You know, we're using the covered call, the cash secure put. We're buying stock using the poor man's covered call where we buy Leaps call options and then we write near-term covered calls. I'll tell you what, we're spinning many plates and I've put on many trades. So with the month of August done, that's right, we're going to go hit the beach somewhere because we are absolutely killing it. This is turning out to be even better than hoped. If you remember my goal for 2023, coming out of the 9 to 5, I retired last December. Coming out of the 9 to 5, I wanted to generate $100,000. Well, I'll show you here in a minute how much I've made this year. But getting back to the monthly breakdown, let's summarize this before we get to that trade. I did tell you at the beginning of the video where I'm going to show you a trade where I'm using the poor man's covered call, but I'm picking up these little crumbs. Trade after trade, the stock moves, it ebbs and flows. We stick and move, picking up little crumbs along the way. I'll show you where I have made more money doing this than I would have had I put on the trade and let it go to expiration. In fact, I'm beating that by some 25%. Now, getting back to our August numbers here, you can see I put on 25 trades. We're having fun. That's really what I'm doing here. You know, I am now having so much fun trading this stock market. Stock market rallies, we trade it. The stock market gets kicked in the nads, we trade it. Look, we stay the course generating premiums, generating monthly cash flow. The goal does not change whether the market's up or down. We have to generate that near-term monthly cash flow to pay the bills. The bills do not stop, so we won't either. So looking at August, you know, with selling premium, we made $15,500 writing covered calls and selling cash secure puts. And then when you look at stock sales for the month, we made about $6,500, and I sold one Leaps call option, and we collected a dividend along the way. That totaled about $23,553, and you can see the breakdown. You can really start to see how I'm using the poor man's covered call more frequently, more successfully, and it's really jacking up my return. And I love how we can use less capital but generate the same near-term covered calls as if I own the shares. And that is absolutely fueling my returns. Because where I would have had to invest, let's say $116,000 to take control of 1,000 shares of AMD, I only had to invest $50,000. And then I was able to use that Leaps call option to generate near-term cover calls as if I owned 1,000 shares. And recently what I did, and I'm going to show you today, I went ahead and picked up another 5 Leaps call options with trading around 102, and we went ahead and wrote another 30-day covered call, pocketing almost 15% cash on cash. See, this is what we do here. We look to find great trades that are trading at the lower 25 percentile of their trading range, trades that do not cost us that much. And of course, if you've been with my channel, you know exactly what that statement means. And then we maximize our cash flow by using our trackers and calculators and always staying in the game using the total income tracker, for which you can download at my website, cptdashboard.com. We'll talk about that here in a minute because you're about to see something that I'm incorporating into the Poor Man's Covered Call Tracker. So I want you to stick around. I've got that great trade and I'm going to show you the new tracker that's coming out. So as you can see, since 2019, the month of August has really been not much happening in the month of August. In 2019, 3,500, then 7,100 during the year where the stock market crashed, then 3,500, and then last year during the 9 to 5, I only made $1,300. But now with both hands on the wheel and a bankroll that's double what I've been rolling with, you can see where the returns are absolutely amplified. We literally go from $1,300 last August to now $23,553. I'm going to show you my totals for the year just so you can get a feel for where I'm at. I get that question all the time. How much can I project to make with X amount of money? Well, you're not me and I'm not you, so I can't really answer that for you. But what I can tell you is this: I use approximately $450,000 to generate what you see here. I am much more active than most, so if you think you can do this, I want you to pump the brakes because that's not necessarily what you can do. Now, with that said, I know others that are doing better than me. And of course, with that said, we all have our own risk tolerances. So you might not use some of the stocks that I use. And as you can see, I use FAS, AMD, Square, we use the TQs. I mean, these are more volatile stocks, so the returns are much more. If we were using stocks like Honeywell, for which I do have a Poor Man's Covered Call on, you're just not bringing back those massive cash-on-cash percentage gains unless you're using the Poor Man's Covered Call, because we're using less capital but generating the same near-term covered calls as if we own the shares, but we're only using less capital, right? So that's why I'm able to do this. That's why I'm able to have these kind of returns, because we are using more volatile stock. Now let's go over to my total income tracker and I'll show you a little bit more about how we're doing this year and some individual trades. Now what you're about to see in my total income tracker is what all of my members see. In fact, I'm going to show you a couple trades that I have for my kids right now. I like to trade my kids' accounts, generating small little crumbs for them, helping build their accounts up too. Now, if you like any of this and you want to be a part of it, particularly with the new tracker that's going to come out that has all of the new features where you can absolutely use the expected stock move calculator and you can track that near-term covered call inside the tracker, I'll tell you what, you want to be a part of that if you like the Poor Man's Covered Call. Go to my website, cptdashboard.com, click Upgraded Dashboard. I give you 1 free month, and when the new Poor Man's Covered Call Tracker comes out this week, you're absolutely going to have access to that where others will not. cptdashboard.com, click Upgraded Dashboard, and get your 1 free month offer. Now looking at my total income tracker, I want to show you my current kids account, where over this year I've done over $6,600 for my kids accounts. Now my kids accounts vary from $30,000 to $10,000 to $7,000, and I trade them appropriately. You could see that since February, I've been able to generate these little baby crumbs for them. And I like to show a lot of you out there that we can use small accounts as small as $7,000 to do the covered call. I tell you what, at the end of the day, when using the covered call, you can outpace the stock market hands down, and the satisfaction of being successful. You know, when you put on covered calls, there's 3 outcomes, and we win 2 out of 3. And I tell you what, it is absolute financial freedom if you learn it. And that's what I'm trying to do with my kids here. I'm trying to teach them how they can take their financial futures in their own hands. I have to take it one step at a time. They're not as interested as me, but I tell you what, at the end of the day, learn this now, because this will set you up for the future. Let's take a look at my August numbers here just to show you the pure volume of how much I trade. You can see here, these are all the closed trades. This is my P&L, where I put on a trade and that trade will sit there until it's closed. We do not book any profits or cash flow until the trade closes. And these are all trades that close. I put these trades on and they're either a winner or they're a loser. That's how the total income tracker works. You don't have to worry about rolling and trying to keep track of your trades. Every single trade is its own trade, and it's either a positive one or a negative one, and the tracker keeps track of it all. Let's go ahead and now talk about that poor man's covered call trade where I'm using one stock multiple times, and I've been able to generate over $1,000 more just because I kept the trade going instead of letting it go to expiration. AMD is a stock we're going to talk about for the poor man's covered call. This is what the members get. They get a write-up that details everything about this trade. So they can look at it, they can read my write-up as to why I'm thinking about putting on this trade. And in the case of this trade, I've owned these AMD Leaps call options for over a month, so it's a little different commentary than if I were to just enter the trade. We detail everything. And we even talk about the Leaps call option and how much money I've actually made since owning the Leaps call option. And as you can see, I've made $7,900 or 15.7%. Now I'm going to show you on the charts exactly why we entered this trade and where it's at today. But this is an example of what the members get with every single trade. You can see it right here. Every single trade is sent to them. And you have the phone app. Every single trade and communication is sent to the phone app, where I have exclusive videos as well. We're going to do one of those exclusive videos today, and it'll be uploaded for the members. But let's go ahead and look at my total income tracker for AMD, just so you can get a flavor. When I entered the trade, AMD was trading for 114. I went ahead and bought the deep in the money 65 strike Leaps call option. I paid $50.63 for that right to take somebody's shares at 65. This was a March 2024 Leaps call option, which means I have the right but not the obligation to take somebody's shares away from them at 65. And I have until March of 2024 to do that. Having this Leaps call option in my possession, I can now write near-term covered calls as if I own the shares. The way that works is simple. If I were to write a covered call and any one of these covered calls, the call buyer would have taken my shares, what's going to happen is the market maker is going to give them the shares at the price of the strike for that covered call, and then the market maker is going to slap me with a short sale of the stock. I have to then remove that short sale debit, and then if I played my cards right and the trade is profitable, I then sell the Leaps call option to make back any money I lose on the short sale. So there is a process with the poor man's covered call, and you have to understand the process. It's not just a matter of putting on a trade, having your shares taken away, and then your brokerage sells your Leaps to then make up the difference. That's not how it works. The benefits are incredible. Notice I've only invested $20,000. Now, I have 4 Leaps call options. I may have mentioned my other poor man's covered call in AMD, where I have control of 1,000 shares. In fact, let me bring that one up. And as you can see, back on July 20th, that was just like a month ago, I bought the January 2024 Leaps. Stock was trading at $112, $65, $50. You get it, blah, blah, blah. But here's the deal. $50,000 invested. I'm controlling 1,000 shares, and now we're writing near-term covered calls. I have generated $8,000 in a month using this Leaps call option. Now, what I talked about earlier was my very first trade. You can see it right here. My very first trade is at top line, and had I let this trade go to expiration, you could see I would have made $7,000, and I would have made a little bit more on the Leaps call option move. I would have made a very healthy amount of cash flow had I let this trade go to expiration, which it was going to go to August 25th. We ended up buying that back because there was $1,700 of profit on the table, and it didn't take long to get to that point. I mean, I put on the trade July 20th, and by August 3rd, we have $1,700. The stock had fallen, so I took that off the board, and now I'm looking for another trade. And that's exactly what I've done. Using this Leaps call option, I have generated $8,000 in cash flow. I still own the Leaps call option, and as you can see, I don't have a current covered call out, so I'm going to be able to write another one here come this week. But look at the power of the poor man's covered call. Investing $50,000, I've generated 15.9% cash on cash. This is literally tripling any of my expectations. And here's the deal. The stock is currently down. It's trading at 102. I have put $8,000 on the table while doing this poor man's covered call. So I'm generating near-term cash flow, putting that money on the table, paying the bills while the stock is ebbing and flowing. And right now we're kind of ebbing, not flowing. So the stock is down 102, but we'll handle that. It's just part of what we do when we sell premium. We put on trades, we take off trades. Wherever the stock's at, we trade it, right? That's what we do. And in this case, right now, if I had owned the shares outright, I'd be down over 10%. But notice, right now, even if I sold the Leaps call option for a serious loss, I would only be down 6%. That's the power of the covered call. Right now, the stock's down some 10%. I'm only down 6%, and I've put or secured $8,000 and put that money on the table. Now let's go to the charts. Let's see where AMD's at and where I think it'll go. Now, again, the members are going to get this trade, so if you want to be a part of it, you have to go to cptdashboard.com, click Upgraded Dashboard, and get your 1 free month. So here's AMD. When we got involved in AMD, it was trading right around here, and we're looking to make a play on a stock that is in the red hot AI space. We know that it broke resistance way back here. It's playing in this sandbox up here, and notice it never breaches that support. So we feel comfortable getting involved right here, and that's what we do. AMD is trading on that line, and even after earnings, for which it was trading damn near 120, it falls down to that support, and it rallies. Do you see that? That was the absolute support line we were playing, and sure enough, man, it danced off of that. Now the market's had some down days because we did get this little rally in tech stocks. They're selling them off now, and here we are testing that number again. AMD breaches that number because now there's more of a market sell-off. It can't totally hang on to that number, but it falls down to where we thought there might be some support. Because when we go back to the last line of resistance, you could see it. When it breaks through this resistance, it bases, and maybe that's a new support line. Well, we don't realize that's a new support line because it's moving higher. Look what happens when we fast forward to where we're at today. See, you don't have to be a genius to figure this out. You know, you have to pay thousands of dollars for people to draw lines on a chart. You'll figure this out. These are lines of resistance, and when it breaks through, for the most part, Wall Street will use them as support lines. And when they break that support line, they're looking for the next line of support. And that's what I try to do for the members. I love to show them these kind of trades, so when we get involved with them, we're not getting involved at the top. Because look, if I'm going to get involved in a trade, I don't want to be in at the top. So I'm showing my members how we get involved at the lower 25 percentile of the trading ranges. And like I told you at the beginning of the video, I did another 5 Leaps call options at the bottom of its range, or what I believe now is going to be new support. That's how we do it. And look, we talk about the poor man's covered call at the membership all the time because we're able to use less capital but generate the same near-term covered call premiums as if you own the shares. So if you're still with me, I want to show you where we're at for this year. $123,000 money on the table. That exceeds my goal of $100,000, and we still have a solid 4 months to go. If you're thinking about using the covered call or the cash secure put to generate extra income in retirement or pay the bills or live the good life, you can do it. And if you want to see the world through my eyes and get a little bit closer, to take a peek over a successful active trader's shoulder, well, hey, look, cptdashboard.com, click Upgraded Dashboard, get your 1 free month offer. I would love to welcome you aboard. Hey, look, next video, I'm going to show you how we use the cash secure put on some 3X leveraged ETFs to make some 8% cash on cash. Be safe, be healthy, most important, be lucky. Until next time, may all your covered calls be profitable.